Hey everybody, I just thought I'd come out tonight and try to share a little bit of value. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was core beliefs, and also known in the business world as limiting beliefs. Like what gets in the way, what stops us from getting the things that we want in life, and how does that then manifest and affect all areas of our life. And it's quite easy to follow, and I've put it up first. Normally when delivering this, I would do and start from the beginning, and I would take people through a process. In order for the video not to be too long, I've drawn it up first, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you through it really quickly, and I hope that it's helpful. And I'm going to do a number of these over a period of time, so I'm going to probably call this number one in terms of sort of personal development, really, and just getting some insight into what it is that makes us tick. All right, so let me start here. So on this line here, at the top here, you can see it says the past. And in the past, with many lines of methodology or differing ways of working in terms of CBT or Gestalt or Freud, Watson, Skinner, whatever it might be, what most people would say and point to is that most of our lives are made up before the age of 0 to 7. And in the past, something happened. Now, I don't want people to start getting confused by thinking that something bad had to happen. In many people's lives, many people have had trauma and experienced trauma, and pain is relative to each individual. So it doesn't have to be anything that's major in your life, because I've worked with a number of people over a period of time that have come to me and told me stories that you may think are quite minor, and yet they've been running their life most of their life. So let's just imagine that something happens from the age of 0 to 7. I'm going to put up a couple of examples down there, but it doesn't need to be this way, and it might not be this way for you. But maybe it might be worth you having a look at a prominent time in your past where you remembered something happening and you made a decision about yourself. And for some people, it could be a divorce from the parents. It could be something that either mum or dad said or didn't say. It could be that people felt abandoned at some point. It could also be that something happened on the playground at school, for example. So people could have been rejected either by the teacher or by the other pupils. There could have been a number of arenas, and that's just a couple, okay? That's just a few of them there. So divorce, parents, abandoned, playground teacher, and there's many other different avenues that people might have experienced where something happened. I know certainly some of the people that I've worked with, or many people that I've worked with, have been through abuse in the past. And for them, that thing that may have happened before the age of 7 is that they could have been abused. But that doesn't, I don't want us to get diverted into thinking that all of it has to be about that, because I'm trying for you to find yours. And then what happens, even though I don't want to play this down at all. What I really want to get to is in terms of, it says up here, what we made it mean. So there's something happened, and then there's something that we make it mean. So whatever the happening was that happened in your life, what was the decision that you made at that point of that happening about you? And what I can tell you is I was in the playground at the age of 6-year-old. I remember getting picked last for a relay race. And in that moment, I remember thinking, I'm different to everybody else. Now, that's just an example of giving you where I can trace it right back to before 7 years of age and I was 6 years of age. So now we're going to go on to what we made it mean. Now, for me, as I've just said there, I made it mean I was different. Some people make it mean I'm unlovable. For example, if dad left, if mum left, or if someone was adopted, or dad or mum says something and you felt, like you were disapproved of, or, so you just felt unlovable. For other people, I'm not good enough. Or I don't fit in. It could have been something the teacher said to you at school in front of the rest of the class and shamed you. And so therefore maybe what your thing might be is I'm stupid. Now the reason I'm saying this is that all these things happen, and a lot of the time when we're talking about what shaped us in our life, we look at what happened. Now, not to negate that the happening isn't painful, But what I'm trying to get to here and what I'm showing you is that out of the happening, what did we make it mean? The thing is with human beings are meaning-making machines. We make a meaning out of everything and anything. And we have it. And I'm going to show you here how that happens. So what happens is these are in the past. And then if we come up to the present here, in the present time, what happens is here we've got a pair of glasses. And this is the world in which we view from. And then we've got a pair of ears, and excuse my drawings because they're not great, but here we have a pair of ears and here's the hearing. So we have the seeing and we have the hearing. And what we're doing in the present moment is all this past is collapsing into the present. And in the Talmud, it says we do not see things as they are, we see them as we are. We do not hear things as they are, we hear them as we are. So here we are in the present moment and basically looking through and listening through a filter and looking through a lens of the decision, the meaning that we attached to the thing that happened, and now it's collapsing in the present moment. Now I've put some things out here, and I've put self, business, relationships, online business, police, men, women, education, work, boss. I put them, these are just some elements of life. I could put everything in life into this, and you would be able to give me an interpretation or a meaning based on your past experience of these things in the present moment that now shapes your life. And one of the most difficult things was about this is that what I realized is that what happened is like somebody said to me, what's your always already listening about women? And given I'm a man, and what had happened is I'd had this vision of being different, in the past and carrying into the present. Being in a relationship and being intimate at times in my life I found really difficult. And I also, because of my other experiences in the past, it's like what happened is I used to feel like I was going to get rejected. And this, goes for many human beings. Now I've asked many women this question, what is it always already listening about men? And they've come up with a lot of different things about men. And you can imagine sometimes where I've had to split the room and I'll say to the women, okay, all the men's going to write there always already listening about you, and I just want you to be silent and let them get on with it. And then I've said to the men, oh, right, you write your always already listening about women, and then I'll go to women and they'll do it too. Now remember, all these people in the room, there's a whole sheet of stuff, but what often happens is that it comes out with very negative stuff based on and coming from this first decision, this meaning we attached through our relationships or our first encounter with individuals right from, before the age of 7-year-old. And what happens is we keep repeating them cycles as we then go through life, and it basically shapes the world in which we live in. Now, what I would suggest, until we actually know what it is that we told ourselves, what was the core belief, what is the limiting belief that limits us through the eyes that we're seeing through for all our life, or the filters that we're listening through. Because for me, when I used to look back on relationships, what I used to see is that all my relationships look the same. And you might be able to identify with it with certain patterns, right? So it might be a different person, it might look slightly different, but there's a lot of similarities. And you see, the thing is because until we unearth this and identify what it is that's running our life, we don't actually get into a new relationship. We get into an old relationship with a new person. So it's almost like we have this always already listening about everything. It could be about the carpet. Oh, that carpet's not a very nice colour. I mean, it could be something different. I mean, it doesn't even go with the paint. It doesn't even go with the wallpaper. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, look at them blinds. Them blinds aren't too great. And we have it about everything. We have it about bosses. You might go into a new job and you might have had a really bad experience with a boss in the previous job. And what happens is then you start to tie this boss or look through the same eyes with the next boss. But remember, it isn't, this happened a long time ago. So even if your first job was at 20, you was probably still going to experience this relationship with this boss because there's something in the present moment that you're defending. You're defending and listening through and looking through the eyes of, they think I'm not good enough. They think I'm different. They're trying to mug me off. They think I'm unlovable, which then gives us our relationship not only to ourselves but to other people. And really, it's never about other people. We can only think that we know what they're thinking because that's what we're thinking. It's like if you say, if you spot it, you've got it. So what I'm trying to, get across here is that really, until we unearth this and we manage to start changing something, we never actually have a future, and we never really have a present. All we ever have is past, because the past comes up and we're looking through and listening through and reenacting the cycles over and over and over again, because we don't understand what it is that's running our life. And what's running our life is something that never even happened. This is the crazy stuff, right? It's like something happened, and this is factual, right? This did happen. People are abused, people go through divorce, parents, abandonment, playground, the teacher might have said something. That stuff happened, right? But that's not really the thing that's affecting our life. It's the meaning of which we put upon it. So the different, unlovable, good, not good enough, I don't fit in, I'm stupid. These never happened. These are something that we made up. When I realised and came to and unveiled the truth that I've been living my whole life out of an interpretation of something that never happened, I was pissed. But on the same way, I was able to then turn it over. I turned it over into, wow, what an opportunity. Now I can see what it is that's happening. So it's like, this is why my relationships go like this. This is why my relationship at work goes like that. This is why I think this about the police. This is why I think this about females. This is why I think this about work. This is why I think this about, X, Y, Z. Because we have this about everything and anything. And it's all based on our experience, our learning, our culture, all up until this present moment. And remember, we are everything that we thought up until this current moment. And I'll leave it there. I hope it was valuable. Thank you.